Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Daniel Kurkowski with VSM Commercial here with the Minnesota Deals podcast. As you may notice, we don't just have Rafik Moore with Caspian Group today, but welcome Rafik.
Thank you. Hello world.
We have the whole team. We have Marshall Nguyen.
Hello world.
And then Raim Abdurakhimov, right?
Yeah.
Did I do that? All right, good.
Right.
So this is the dream team over at Caspian, and I was fortunate enough that they invited me to...
We adopted Daniel.
I know, it feels good. And we're actually on location today in the Salty Tart, which is a location in Lowertown, St. Paul. It's part of a 5-unit condo building that we purchased and closed last week.
Yes.
4 of us together. So the first question that I want to get to, and this is going to be a good, I think, deal analysis podcast. How did you first hear about this deal?
So a friend of mine said that there is a restaurant for sale, which, by the way, I don't usually get excited about restaurants, but I just came back from Portland, where I experienced a food hall concept, which I really, really, really liked. And I thought to myself, we got to open a food hall in Minneapolis. How cool it would be to have something like that in Northeast Minneapolis, or North Loop, or South Minneapolis, for that matter. And having come back, it was almost serendipitous how she says, "Oh, there's this restaurant, but there's really 5 businesses and blah 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 and brewery." And I'm like, "Oh my God, this is amazing! Let's go, let's check it out."
Yeah.
So that's how, and she brought it to me. We were gonna do the deal together. She had cold feet.
Okay.
And I proceeded with the team over here.
Nice. How did you guys first hear about it and get involved?
You know, I think it was because of the second street, right? With a video that you guys did.
Good video. Check that one out.
And, you know, it was basically our partnership. All 4 of us was going to do anyways.
Yep.
And then the deal's still happening, but it's kind of taking longer than expected. And then basically Rafik's like, "Hey, should we just do this deal for now?" I was like, "All right, let's do it." So...
Yeah. How about you, Ryan? What is the first time you saw this spot?
I was bidding a building over there, the build out at 4th Avenue. It's not far away from here. And Rafik was with me, and he said, "Hey, let's have a lunch there." So I came here, and he's like, "We're buying this building." I'm like, "Can I invest here instead of there?"
This one that needed no work, right?
No work at all.
Right on. So when you originally found it, what was the asking price on it? Let's get into the mechanics of the deal a little bit.
So I don't recall exactly, but it was north of $2 million. I think it was $2.5 million asking price.
Okay.
It was priced fairly, but the partnership that was selling it has gone through some turmoil, and they reinvented the space with putting Octofish,
Yes.
Birches of Lowertown, and Salty Tart where we are today. And I sort of, not seeing the upside, I automatically said, well, I'll probably be interested in about 1.7 million, and it's probably going to be a waste of time. So let's just offer 1.7, see what happens. I guess what? Any question you ask, if you don't ask a question, the answer is always no. So ask away. They came back at 2.1 million.
Okay.
And I think we haggled for a little bit, and we basically ended up at 1.825.
Yeah. Which is where we ended up closing it at.
Yeah. Amazing.
So, from your guys' experience, you guys do plenty of deals. How common is it to, when you're asking those questions of proposition, if you will, by making offers, talking to people, are people willing to be that flexible in price?
I think when I make offers, or you know what Rafik has taught us, is that we always want to be polite, and we never want to offend anybody. So when I, put in an offer, say, you know what, I'm sorry at first, but I do not want to offend you guys, but I think this is the number could work, and basically give them an explanation why, right? Because there's a lot of brokers where just people in the business where they put in an offer, but they never have a explanation behind it. So everything has a reason to it. So as long as if you do it the right way, where you're polite about it and you're respectful to the seller, I think they'll be more open to hearing it than just screw off,
Absolutely. I think a lot of us too, when we approach a deal, we look at it and we're like, the odds of them taking my low offer are so small that I'm just going to fire that over right away. I'm not going to take the time to get to know anybody, because you don't want to waste time if it doesn't work. But that's the backwards way to look at it. You have to, in order to be successful, you almost have to do what you're doing and explain, go into detail, take
Right.
the time and build that relationship.
Right. Because you always want them to understand where you're coming from. You know, not just throwing out a bunch of offers and have no substance behind it. You know, so
One of the things that's very important to recognize in making an offer, offer is nothing but a negotiation, and discovering every mean of agreements is so important. Listening to what's important to the seller, understanding their hot buttons, and trying to work on your offer to accommodate certain things might get you further. So I would have bought this property for a higher price had they given me terms. So there's always that dynamic where it's price versus terms, and like a cash flow versus equity, and being flexible around that phenomenon or around that topic is extremely important.
Yeah, and the price terms, they usually get one or the other, right? Not both. So
If you're lucky.
yeah, if you're lucky. And with this deal too, I think part of the reason that you were able to, and they were willing to work with us on price, had to do with the fact that there was some additional hair on the deal that needed to be cleaned up.
Which we started resolving in due diligence when we
Yes.
started talking to certain parties that are involved. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't just a shoot from the hip type of an offer. There was a justification as to what and how the number we came up with the number.
And I think very important when you structure a deal, like Rafik was always saying us, is to create the meaningful relationship with the seller as well.
Right.
So that you have some kind of personal connection with the seller, and then sky's the limit.
And those closings where it ends up just being a love fest are the best closings.
It was,
anyway.
it was.
And I mean, if you know Marshall, I can't imagine a closing that you're involved in where it's not a love fest at the end. So, yeah, absolutely. So
Later.
we got
It's
the
Marshall's
deal.
birthday, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Happy
happy
birthday.
30th, Marshall.
thank you guys. I
What are you
appreciate
gonna do to celebrate?
Octofish.
Octofish tonight, actually. No, we're actually gonna go to Octofish tonight and tomorrow as well. So this is actually my favorite part of St. Paul now. This is my favorite restaurant. I'm gonna
Best
be here
seafood in
a
St.
lot.
So if you're launching a restaurant and you want it to improve in sales, sell it to Marshall. He'll take his family there
And
every
come
night.
to Octofish.
Yeah.
And also big shout out to Andrea Christensen from Cushman & Wakefield. She was the one that represented the seller, and she did a great job.
And shout out to Tim McKee, who is a rock star
Tim McKee.
Michelin chef.
Yeah, super chef.
He's a celebrity.
So that was obviously part of the excitement for the deal was knowing that his name was attached to the location right by the Saint Stadium. Once we went through due diligence and started solving some of those problems, again, we bought it for 1.825. Does anyone know what it appraised for?
2.6.
2.6.
2.6.
It's pretty good. So that creates a lot of different opportunities. So when I think you're looking at a commercial deal and you can create, that much of a cushion between the purchase price and the appraised value, number one, it's a lot of potential for resale. Number two, it's potential to refinance out and redeploy your capital. Because we've talked about this on previous podcasts, but the biggest barrier to entry for so many people is they don't feel like they have the money to be able to do the deals. And just want to be radically transparent that neither do we. Like we're not buying 40 deals at a time just out of pocket. We're being creative, and we're buying right and buying smart and able to keep taking that money out, putting it somewhere else. So
Or selling some properties for cash.
exactly.
And, one of the things that I want to add to this podcast is the importance of having a team, rockstar team that we have here. I wanted to sort of propose an idea. How nice would it be to live in the world where everybody you know or everybody you associate with is rock solid? How nice would it be to work with people who are honorable, humble, honest, and will basically take a bullet for you or got your back when you need them? Well, you can create that world for yourself by being very selective about who you work with, about who you bring into your life. And I think this team right here is the team that we have a relationship over years. Raim and I know each other for 10 years now. And those are the kinds of people that you can bring in, and they will help you to get there. You know, putting the capital together, we all pitched in, we put some money to do this, and we're gonna get it back. So if you don't have the entire down payment, you can always come in with a certain portion of it. And know that the guys on the team they've always got your back and have your interest at heart, as opposed to negotiating internally and, you know, having a tug of war. So just wanted to add that. It's really important.
I think that's a great sentiment, and I don't think I could say it any better than that. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you
Happy
very much.
birthday, Marshall.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thursday.
I'm so happy
Thank
we
you.
got to do this deal together, and
We'll see what happens.
There'll be more deals.
we'll see you guys next time.